I am Anindya Raina, and my topic is extremity of individual and communal living. So, like what most of them have done, it's not very factual based and not a really data collection or comparison or case study. It's something that I've come up with. So I've taken a scenario of two cities, which are one of them is an individual city and one of them is a communal living. So the first city is influenced by technology and controlled by AI, and the other one is it started from self sustainability, and I the aim is to compare both of them and learn and understand what are the extremities of both, and then come to a ground where I can use it while designing and understand the situations and how can I balance them out. So one is this a city controlled by technology and other is community. So in this city, the city itself is dependent on technology a lot, and I'm trying to look at how uh, um, a simple usage and understanding of a door and a window has changed in a unit. So how does a city where everything is controlled by something else affecting a unit, a house, and a home as a unit, the smallest unit of economy? So it comes down from the smallest unit of economy being a house to a room that is inside a house. And this one, oh yeah, and in this here I've tried to show that inside the building there is very little connection, but then from the outside it's quite connected. So inside the building it's so personalized that nobody really goes out and meets anybody. It's all done by technology. Everything is ordered, everything comes to your not even doorstep, it's a windowsill in that city. And in this one, inside the building there is a lot of connection, but outside it's very little, and it's done by those yellow strips where each building acts like an oikos and it's self-sustaining, and they connect and deliver things. Like each building will have a particular role and they'll be majoring in that thing. And so like for example, if this building has a nuclear power plant, they'll produce energy to other buildings, but then rest of it will be generated inside the building itself. I'm comparing these activities in both the cities and understanding how would it change for a person, and how, because these three are the main thing that gets affected. The first thing is work. So like how in a so I started to imagine that what situation or how do I visualize a person working, and I did not design a unit before that. So first I started thinking of how a person would work in such a scenario, because now work is at home, so the workspace is inside the unit, everything is inside the unit, and how do you divide your unit according to that? The first thing was, while you're working, you will, because now you have just a room, how will you adjust? Like maybe you have a slab which like, or a plank which comes down and you work on it, and you work there, and whatever you have to deliver you do it through the sill, which I have explained later on. And in the other situation, yeah, and in the other situation where I am looking at cultivated, produced, cooked and consumed, so there is a series where you will see how dependent you are every day. So you will see, like currently what we see is like we don't know who are we dependent on, but we are pretty much very dependent on everything. Like if we cut off a single person, like, or a single group, we'll face a very severe consequence because of it, because now we're so dependent on everything that comes from outside. Everything will come from outside, but in this case they are dependent and they see it in front of them, so everything is happening here and it's produced inside. And in this case, this is food. So like how do you like I'm taking it from the current situation, how do we order food? Like हमें चाहिए कुछ खाने को, we'll order on Zomato, it will come to our place and we finish it off. And from my own observations, I will be sitting in my room, and if I'm working for 3 continuous days, by the end of the day I have a pile of plastic boxes which are there in my room because I've not cooked, because I am working inside my room, I'm ordering everything and everything is coming to my doorstep. So now in that situation, how does a windowsill change? Because now we are living in a very dense situation, And as I try to understand that Amazon has currently started drone delivery. So like maybe in future that we have two rooms connected to each other which are in the same house, but each window is used as a delivery porch. And now we do not have a name. We don't have a nameplate. We have a barcode, which is identified by the drones, and it will be delivered to your home. So it's written like drop here. So whatever you've ordered will come to your windowsill, which is again. So the veranda acts like a windowsill and acts like a access to your house now. So how does a function of a windowsill, a veranda, and a door change have work? Like I'll explain it again. So in this case, they are cooking together, and it's the same thing: cultivated, produced, and cooked and consumed. And in the last case, it was order, receive, and consume. And the order, receive, and consume is continuous in all of them. So like it's become this linear cycle in our current situation that we order, we receive, and we consume, and we do not see what is happening in between that. The same cases with the clothes. So like if you see graphically also, it's just two steps that you see which are continuous and the same and banal in all of this city. And this is about how do they make their own clothes, and the same thing: produced, manufactured, and consumed. So this is zooming into the smallest unit of individualtopia. And what I've imagined as yellow center junction is the, like, at max, if somebody, like, I'm imagining a city where everyone is working at their own place, but there are going to be certain situations if somebody has to go out. So those middle junctions are those parts where they might come, but it's very rare. And how the lower half of the city contains all the technical and support and services which run throughout the city. So the lower half of the whole city becomes empty, and the upper half is where the humans reside. And how does it, and this is the house that I have, a home ka unit. So now here we do not have anything because it's so personalized. We cannot put nooks and corners. It's just one room where you do whatever you want, which at max can open up and come into the hall. So here I have like the veranda. So there is an entrance and like from air, and then you can use it. So this part is for one person, and that's the zoomed in part, which again the room is divided into three halves. And how does the door and the window has the same shuttering detail, because the usage is almost same, that you get your stuff inside and then you push it outside. There's nothing else to it. So it's mostly used for space. The spaces is for sleeping area, eating, and disposing. So the disposing will happen through the pipe, which will be connected niche, and all of the things will be disposed together at the city level. This is the other city. So in this case, the smallest unit of communal occurs will not be your room, because your room is just used as a cell. It won't be anything actually. There won't be anything private because the whole building will act as an oikos, and there will be very minimal connection between the cities with the buildings itself, and which will be just for trading. And so I have thought of a building which is divided into two halves, and the first half is where all the work is done, and the second half is where all the residents will be staying. And this is, I've taken the same form of the unit to understand if we have the same form. It's still pretty different because here there is just a sliding door ka difference. At max you get one small room for sleeping, maybe if you have a wife and you have like a child with you. Okay. It's not visible, so I'll just explain it. So here I'm showing that the window size again is affected due to the change of its function, and it no more acts just as a window. It's more public part, like it's more of a public area for the house, because here is where you deliver everything, which is in contrast to what currently we are living in, where veranda is one of the most private areas if it's at the back. And the size of the projection is too affected by the kind of delivery goods are coming in, and it's pretty wide. There is a door which is foldable from where the drones can enter, and the sill detail is at a slant, so the bigger packages can directly slide into the room. and the door size will be different because now the door is not used for getting your sofas in, it's not used for anything else, it's just for maybe going out. I don't know when, but is this there? And okay, so this is a hole in one room. So each room will have this one hole from where there will be all the trash that will go down, and niche there will be collective where there is a pipe running throughout the building, which usually happens, but we do not see it currently. And in this case, there are divisions of floors. So the first 3 floors will act like a residential area where there will be sharing washrooms for different genders, but it will be at one floor. So the unit has the unit does not contain a pantry. It does not contain a washroom. It does not contain anything else. It's just a sleeping box. So hence there is no smallest unit of economy. It's just the building. The oikos is there. There's nothing else. So yeah, this is what I just imagine and I try to understand, because I started to look at the activities, try to make a representation out of them, and try to understand how will a house be affected. So this is.